Greetings. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks, Sr., your host, and this is Community Focus. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking with Pastor Arthur J. Gass, Sr., the Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church, 401 Wanglo Avenue, Waukegan, Illinois. 409 Wanglo Avenue. Sorry about that. But Pastor Gass is a person that you should know. We're going to be talking, well, first of all, he's the president of the Black Chamber of Commerce of Lake County, which is located at 668 Lenox Avenue in Waukegan, Illinois. There are two great events coming up in near future, and he's going to be, he's excited about it, and when he gets through, you're going to be excited about it too, and going to come and see the great accomplishment that he has made or is making in Lake County. Good morning, Pastor Gass.
Good morning, Dr. Brooks. How are you?
Thank you very much for taking time from your busy schedule to be with us here in the studio at WKRS to tell our listening audience about the great things that you've been doing. And I'd like for you to give us a background. You're celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Black Chamber of Commerce of Lake County. But tell us about the Black Chamber of Commerce of Lake County.
Thank you, Dr. Brooks. Well, first of all, let me thank you for taking the time to share with us today. It's an honor to be here and to be in your presence. Mm-hmm. Back in 2005, well, even further than that, I was downsized in corporate in 2002. And with my 26 years of experience as a public accountant, I wanted to do something that I could give back to the community and to focus in those unserved, underserved areas. And that was economic development. Mm-hmm. And my wife and I, having discussed it, we decided to start the Black Chamber of Commerce of Lake County. And it was incorporated in November of 2006. And this year we are celebrating 10 years since that inception of the chamber. And again, to focus pretty much on economic development with businesses and helping them to grow and to develop. When you look at it on a national level, all across this country, the greatest employer of African-American people are Black-owned businesses. Mm-hmm. And so it would just stand to reason that we would try and encourage those businesses to learn the business acronyms to go with those skill sets in order to grow and to develop, and therefore to bring more people into the workforce so that they can have meaningful incomes. Because I'm of the mindset that we are not going to alleviate any of the ills in our communities for us, the crime and the violence, until we have jobs. And we can do a lot of that to help ourselves other than waiting and depending on others. Look what we can do within our own communities to help to bring about change. And that has been my focus for the last 10 years. And this year, we are celebrating this 10th year with a convention at the Holiday Inn in Gurnee on August the 18th. Mm-hmm. And it's an entire full-day event, and we're going to be talking more about the actual agenda. But that's pretty much the reason and the origin behind the chamber, and the focus is to get into those areas that's unserved and underserved, and to reach those individuals that are businesses that really need that help in developing what they do, how they do it, and to grow and to make more money so that they can hire more people, which when you give people jobs, then that means they have meaningful incomes, which means they can provide for their families, which means that their children don't be hanging on the streets because they are, being employed and then working and have money for themselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, we're talking with Pastor Arthur J. Gass, Sr., Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church, located at 409 Wanglo Avenue in Waukegan, Illinois. Right. He's the president of the Black Chamber of Commerce of Lake County also. Pastor Gass, what African Americans have to have the mindset in doing is not just working, but providing an opportunity to provide jobs for others?
Entrepreneurship is the key. It's okay to work for someone else, but business development is really what we need. We need people who have those ideals about starting a business, to grow those businesses and to employ individuals. You know, the greatest employer of all Americans in this country are small business, not your major corporations, but are small businesses throughout this nation.
Okay.
But it just stands to reason that, again, we help more individuals to become entrepreneurs so that they can have those businesses and sustain themselves once they start the business. We just don't want them to start and fold within the first 2 or 3 years, but we want them to be able to survive. And that comes about with a plan. You have to have a vision for your business. You have to have the passion for your business, and not just make it a hobby, but it's a business. And you grow that business in order that you can grow it to the point to where you can exceed what you have done the previous year. To have more staff, more income, diversify your revenue as to how you would bring revenue into the business, and therefore you're able to, at that point, add more employees, so that you can grow as a firm.
Speaking of growth, you started out at 1020 Glen Flora with training programs, for those that would like to grow or learn about different businesses. And you have grown now to 668 Lenox Avenue. But tell us about the training programs that you had at 1020 and what are you doing now at 668 Lenox?
Well, our focus as the chamber, we have the traditional chamber as our umbrella, which we have business networking and businesses that are a part. But what we wanted to do is to take it a step further, because I'm a believer that you don't want to waste your time competing with other people, because when you do that, you just try to find ways to do something better that somebody's already doing. But my focus is to have a monopoly and to have a monopolistic process to where you're in a class by yourself. And by doing that, we looked at what we have within our community. And one of the biggest problems is high unemployment. And because there is a large number of individuals who have felony backgrounds who feel that they can't find work,
Right.
I focused in on the construction environment, because in that arena, the felony background is not an issue. As long as you can produce and work, contractors will hire you. So therefore, we sought to introduce our training program. And we not only train in all trades of construction, but we also train in horizontal construction, which is highway construction. And therefore, we can train laborers to work on highway construction, as well as we do commercial, which is the vertical construction.
Pastor Gass, at the top of the program, you mentioned about a convention that's going to be held, it's Thursday, August 18th. You want to tell us about that celebration?
Well, again, we have a great lineup, coming on the 18th. That morning, but throughout the day, we have 4 major events. We start out with the breakfast with the keynote speaker, Ms. Ronta Forte, who is the director of supplier diversity within the Global Office of Diversity and Inclusion for Walgreens. And she will start us off with the keynote speech at that morning. And then at lunchtime, we have Mr. Torrin Priestley. He's the Executive Vice President of Development of the Benoit Group out of Atlanta, Georgia. And he's also the current developer that will be working with the old Marion Jones project in North Chicago.
Okay.
And then I have the general session as the keynote speaker at the conclusion of all of the breakout sessions at the 4 o'clock hour, and then we will break. And then back at 6 o'clock, we will have a general reception with the awards dinner gala banquet starting at 7 o'clock. And for that event, we have Mr. J. Alexander Martin, who's the co-founder and vice president and creative director of FUBU, which is For Us, By Us clothing line. And that is the #1 clothing line in the country. These young men started this organization with the vision of helping the community, and they have grown it to a multi-million-dollar business. And he's also president of the New York State Black Chamber of Commerce in the state of New York. So he would be our keynote speaker that evening. And throughout the day, he would be there sharing in some of the breakout sessions with us his expertise on how he has grown his business.
Now, that's an all-day affair on Thursday, August 18th, and you're starting off with the breakfast at 7:30 a.m. sharp.
Yes, sir. We have the actual registration in the main lobby, and then networking in the breakfast. They actually start at 8 o'clock. We have the mayors will be there to bring a welcome. Mayor Kavorik from Gurnee, and then we also have Mayor Motley from Waukegan, and Mayor Rockingham from North Chicago will be there to bring us the mayoral greetings. And then we have the introduction of our keynote speakers. And at that time, we will, after that, we will have the breakout sessions. Right now, we don't have confirmation, but we are planning to have a panel discussion in economic development for the minority businesses, and we have invited our congressional delegation, candidates rather, to come, as well as our senatorial candidates to come. But I don't want to, confirm that until I get the actual green light that they are going to be in attendance. But if they are going to be in attendance, then they will be immediately after the breakfast and immediately after the lunch process in order to share with us their vision. It's not a debate, but it's just that they will be there to let us know what their vision is for minority-owned businesses as it relates to Lake County women and veterans.
And this is a great opportunity for attendees to receive knowledge.
That's the key. The problem with so many businesses, and this is across the board, an individual can come up with a great idea. And if you ever watch one of my favorite shows on television, it's the Shark Tank. People can have great ideas, but you have to have the passion and the vision to grow that business. And unfortunately, a lot of people have skill sets, but they don't have the business acumen to go with that in order to make that business profitable so that they can see it flourish, and to make sure as they grow that business, they can understand it's a going concern for them for the duration. If you notice anything about the Colonel Sanders, he's been dead a long time now, but KFC is still going strong.
Okay.
Sam Walton, who started the Walmart, he's been gone a long time now, but they're still thriving. Why is that? Because when they started those businesses, it was not for them. They started it for generations to come. So we have to understand that when we set up a business, it's not just for the proprietor, the owner, but it's a business that's going to be passed down through generations of the family, and if not sold as an exit strategy, so that they can still survive as a viable economic growth in that community where it's established.
And the theme is very appropriate that you have transforming today's businesses for tomorrow challenges.
One of the biggest problems that we have right now, in America, and I find this very, very hard to believe, but it is a fact. In America, we say that right now we have 600 to 800,000 jobs we cannot fill. And we cannot find qualified people in this country to fill those positions. And I find that very troubling in America. And I think one of the major problems with that is that companies and businesses in general have not kept pace with the changes, dynamics that's going on within our country. So that means that you have to transform your strategy of recruitment. You have to transform your strategy of adding employees in order that you may be prepared for tomorrow challenges, because the challenges of tomorrow is that the demographics are changing. And with the demographics changing, we have to then make sure we're prepared to deal with that change that is before us. There used to be a time we dealt with the yuppies. Now we talk about the baby boomers, and now we're in the new group, the millenniums. And this is a unique group of people. They are different. So we have to make sure that we have transformed our processes in order to keep up with those changes, in order that we can bring forth those individuals that need the positions. And the companies must realize that if we can't find certain individuals, then maybe your network needs to expand to partner with individuals that can help you to find those individuals, because they are in this country. And for us to just sit and take that as status quo, that we can't find somebody, and then we say that we have to go outside this nation to bring people here to do those jobs, that's very troubling to me.
Just before we go into Friday's program, about some of the accomplishments that you have had.
Well, we have so many to boast, and we are going to do our best job to tell our story on the 18th. But one of the outstanding accomplishments that we've had is that we have had a partnership with the College of Lake County, and back in 2012, the Illinois Department of Transportation had an intergovernmental agreement with the College of Lake County, and they wanted to train engineering technicians. And therefore, when they reached out to the college reached out to us to help us to help us to recruit those individuals for that targeted population. And we did that. And the process is they had to be very sharp when it came down to trigonometry, calculus, algebra, and construction math, and surveying, and CAD as far as the computer automated drafting and stuff. So they had to be sharp in that. And we was very successful in recruiting those individuals, and they were successful in passing the course. They was interviewed with IDOT, and IDOT now have those individuals that are working with them, and they have been doing that for over 2 years. So it shows that programs work, but the dynamics have to be in place, and we're going to bring those individuals back, and we're going to be honoring them, because I feel that because of what they have done and the boot camp that they went through in order to prepare themselves to get those jobs with the Illinois Department of Transportation is very worthy of their recommendations, and to award them, for their efforts and what they did in order to make that happen. So we have those accomplishments. We have the accomplishments that we have helped hundreds of individuals in construction be trained and are working in construction and as laborers. And then we have one young lady who actually have started her own trucking company. She started her trucking company and worked with one of our major construction companies now. So we have great stories to tell. And the thing is, we want to let people know, it's time out for the excuses about what's going on and why we can't succeed, to realize that our strength is within us. And we have to utilize that and utilize what's within us. Stop making the excuses and show that based upon our history, we come from success. And I think it's high time that we start to renewing that success amongst our youth, and to help us to understand that the generations to come does not have to go through what the generations are going through now with this high unemployment, bad education, and all that kind of stuff. We have the wherewithal to change it from within, and that's what we're doing at the PCC.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, the exemplary person that you've been listening to this morning. We mentioned a person that you should know here in Lake County, Pastor Arthur J. Gass, Sr., pastor of the Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church 409 Wanglow and Waukegan, Illinois, and he's the president of the Black Chamber of Commerce of Lake County, 668 Lenox Avenue in Waukegan, Illinois. We've been talking about the 2-day celebration, but we've been concentrating on Thursday, August 18th, 7:30 to 4 p.m. Holiday Inn Gurnee Convention Center, 6161 West Grand Avenue in Gurnee, Illinois. We've been concentrating on what's happening on that day. And now we're going to spend, and we didn't mean to short step, we spend most of the time talking about the 18th, but a great thing is happening on the 19th, Friday the 19th. And we're going to let Reverend Gass tell us about the other half, the Ann V. Gass Gospel Extravaganza.
On the 19th, obviously, as we celebrate our 10th year, being who I am, as far as I feel that there's nothing I have done can be accredited to me.
Okay.
As the psalmist teaches us in the scriptures, it had not been for the Lord on our side, we would not be able to do any of this. So we want to have a celebration in honor of how God has blessed us to accomplish the things that we have. And prior to my wife passing in February of the 19th, she was working as her assignment given to her, the Gospel Extravaganza. And she had already booked Paul Porter and the Christianaires to come, and Miss Helen Miller Best out of North Carolina to come, the Burtis Sisters out of Kankakee, as well as Grandmama Boys that are locally, and then the Community Mass Choir we was going to put together and have put together for the event. And so what we wanted to do is to continue what she started in her honor, and we named it the Ann V. Gass Gospel Extravaganza, so that we can honor her for the contributions that she made during her time with us, as an employee of the chamber, as also the head of this particular part of the program.
So this is her vision. She has started this.
This is her vision. Yes, this is what she was
earlier
working
this
on.
year, yeah.
Yeah, because we started this
Wow.
back in January, and she passed away on February the 19th. So obviously, we had to complete it, in her honor, and so we're going to do it and go through with it. And so it's been all planned. Everything is implemented. All the artists are coming, so we're looking forward to that. And what is really going to be exciting about this is Grandmama Boys has now. They will be releasing their brand new single on that night as well. So they have been going back and forth to Nashville in the studio making preparation for us. So Waukegan is going to be blessed for the new release from them on the 19th as well.
This is fantastic.
Yes.
You have to be. The reason that you're so successful is you have to put God at the forefront.
Got to.
And things just fall in place.
Yeah, they have to.
I tell my wife sometime I'll be praying each morning, and before I get off my knees, and I find things has already been worked out.
That's right. I think if we ever stop back and just look to see where the Lord has brought us from, and if nothing else, to see that those who are listening right now to know that you got your health and strength, and to have a good mind, that's enough to thank God for all by itself. So I don't think that we should withhold His praises, because if it had not been for Him, nothing that could be. So out of all the accomplishments that we've had, I definitely will not, minimize my praise to Him and to honor His blessings to all of us. And this convention is not about me. It is about the community. It's about the successes, the partnerships that we have earned over the years, and to be able to bring us together across the board, the diversity that we have within the chamber, the diversity of people that we have helped in the chamber. It is marvelous as to what the Lord has done. But again, it's not about me, it's about Him. And that's what we want to do on the 19th, and give Him the glory by having this gospel extravaganza.
And Pastor Gass, there's a nominal fee for both sessions too. You tell us about the Thursday.
The Thursday event, the registration is $175, and that includes everything from the breakfasts to the lunch to the breakout sessions and the gala. And then the event for Friday is the $20 tickets for the adults and children under 12 would be $10, and it's going to be held at Waukegan West High School at the Trapp Auditorium at 2325 Brookside Avenue in Waukegan. Tickets can be purchased at the Black Chamber of Commerce office at 668 Lenox, or at Employee Connections at 2504 Washington Street, or at Greater Faith Church Baptist at 565 Powell Avenue, or at Mount Zion Baptist Church, where I pastor, at 409 Wanglow Avenue, even at Pope Flores at 2202 Grand Avenue. And for those of you that's up in the Racine area, at the Greater St. Luke Baptist Church at 1326 State Street in Racine. You can always call the Black Chamber's office at 847-596-2910. That's 847-596-2910 for any information related to both products. Or either you can go on the website to www.bcc, that's Boy Charlie Charlie, that's bccofflakecounty.com, and get all the information on the website. Again, that's www.bccofflakecounty.com.
And you've had a lot of support. It's not a one-man operation, right? It takes a group.
That's right.
To be a success.
That's right. And we have, we've lost two of our key staff. Not only did I lose my wife on February the 19th, but back in 2012, we lost Mr. Jesse Lewis, who was my program coordinator, who passed away. But we're surviving, and we've had wonderful instructors that have taught the students, and the contractors who have helped us, because the students have to have hands-on training.
Right.
And so contractors have come on board to be our instructors, as well as to give them employment so that they can have the training, the hands-on, to learn the skill set. So when we send them out in the workforce, not only are they prepared from a skills perspective, but they are prepared from an environmental, from the construction environment, so because they have learned that it's a different environment, but they are prepared to work and have done good and made us very, very proud as to what they have done.
And once they have the training, then next comes the finance. Do you have a training program in finance, right?
Yeah, well, what we also do is that, even though they're making good money in construction, we also have financial management to try to help them understand you have to manage well. Making $40 an hour is good money, but when you make it, you have to be like the ant. You earn it while you can, but in the wintertime, you got to make sure that you have put it up so that you can survive during those winter months when construction is down, because, from March until November-ish is work time. But then the winter months is kind of down, but most construction workers manage their funds well. They put it up, and so therefore during those winter months when everybody is down, they have funds to survive for the winter time, just like the ant.
And the Black Chamber of Commerce, you're concerned about finance also. You have a grant writer to keep you on board?
Yes, well, we do all our grant writing internally. And one of the other areas that we haven't touched on is that we have our Small Business and Contractors Academy. Okay. And what we do with that academy is that we take business owners and entrepreneurs or people who want to start up businesses, and we put them through a 9-week course which help them to prepare to go into business so that when they do open that business, they'll be successful. We also have family housing services where we actually work for homeowners who are landlords who own properties, or other housing agencies within the county who owns properties that when tenants move out, we go in and we refurbish those units as a way of making sure that we are part of the affordable housing processes in Waukegan as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, Pastor Gass, what's new on the horizon for the Black Chamber of Commerce? In other words, you've had 10 years, you're celebrating 10 years, and 10 additional years. What would you like to see?
Well, I want to see us be more, to expand more. As again, my focus, my philosophy is to be monopolistic. And as a monopoly, I want to be in a class by myself to where we can really reach out to expand what we do to help more of our individuals in the community. And by doing that, I think that we can have more success stories that we're going to be sharing, because it is about the outcomes. It is about the placements. It's about the jobs. And the training is one thing, but the jobs are the outcomes. You got to get jobs, and that's what we have been very successful, in doing, and making those individuals, productive citizens within our community.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for taking time from your busy schedule to listen to a program that's that's outstanding here in Lake County, and providing training and jobs and for our youngsters to be entrepreneurs and not just workers on a job. We've been talking with Pastor Arthur J. Gass, Sr., Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church, 409 Wanglow Avenue in Waukegan, Illinois. Matter of fact, it's one block on east of Jackson on Belvedere, if you would like to attend. And church services on Sundays at
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
So it would be a great investment for you just to attend just one time to see the opportunity that we're giving you to go, and it'd be much appreciated. You'd be greatly benefited if you do. There are two things happening. This is the 10th anniversary convention and concert events. It's Thursday, August 18th, 7:30 to 4. It's breakfast at 8 o'clock at the Holiday Inn Convention Center, 6161 West Grand Avenue, Gurnee, Illinois. And the next day, Friday, is the Ann V. Gass Gospel Extravaganza. That's going to be from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Waukegan West High School.
And the doors open at 6 o'clock for that program.
Doors open 6 o'clock at the Trapp Auditorium, 2325 Brookside Avenue, Waukegan, Illinois. Thank you, Reverend Gass.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to another awareness session on Community Focus. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks, Sr., your host.